today, we want to kind of discuss a solution where we're going to really help you to understand the definition of an employment target and really understand the concept of career change. Other things that kind of help you in targeting is understanding the definition of a job target and really defining them down once you know that, and making sure you have like a plan A and a plan B as you start thinking about the direction that you might want to go down as it relates to a target. So, I'm going to pass it off to Peter, who's going to really address like three particular pillars that are going to support you in understanding the definition of an employment target.
Thanks, Eli. So as Eli mentioned, there's power in having an objective. There's power in goal setting. I think we all know this, right? But when it comes to job search and career transition, having a very clear definition of exactly what an employment target is extremely empowering. And we see it leading to much more productive and accelerated job searches, right? Even, by the way, even in tough economic times. I'm not speaking only about what we're all going through right now, but Eli and I have both coached in various economic environments, and we've seen job seekers able to accelerate their job searches regardless of economic conditions. Okay, and so the definition of an employment target, as Eli mentioned, are these pillars, and they are three specific pillars that I want to introduce to you. The first one is the industry, the second one is the function, and the third one is the geography. Okay, now some of you might be thinking, okay, yeah, but I kind of already know that, right? I know these things, right? But here's the rub, right? In working with these thousands of international job seekers over the years, I can't tell you how many times in a say a first conversation, right, a first coaching session where we're really trying to figure out what the objectives for the coaching relationship should be. After we get acquainted and there's some rapport building and whatnot, then we typically turn the conversation to, okay, well, what exactly are you looking for? What are your targets for your career transition? And the types of responses we would often get, particularly in business schools, were things like, well, I want to target management consulting. Okay, or well, I think I want to target marketing, or I want to target finance, and finance is a big one, right? Investment banking, financial services, and so on. But here's the challenge with saying I want to target management consulting, and that's the fact that actually management consulting is both an industry and a function. Okay, same goes for marketing. Marketing is an industry, right? It's the agencies and the digital marketing freelancers and all of that. But marketing is also a function within different industries, whether it's Fortune 500s, whether it's FMCG, or even whether it's in higher education where I used to work, right? So, and by the way, same is for finance. Finance is both an industry and a function. So there's really a lot of power in defining exactly what you mean, specifically which types of industries you would like to pursue, and then specifically within those industries, what types of functions you want to pursue. And then of course, there's the geographic piece. Now, the benefit to all of these types of clarity are multifold, but I'll just share two or three of the biggest benefits. Number one is that Eli and I are big advocates of not just keeping your planning ideas in your head when it comes to a career transition. We move our clients to get to a place where they actually have a written, targeted job search plan, right? And when you have that kind of clarity and are able to get those ideas out of your head and onto paper, it's not only empowering, but it's also confidence building. And it also it frees up all of that brain power to then focus on executing the job search now that you have a written plan. That's number one. The other would have to do with communication. The benefit here is that when you understand who your audience is going to be, then it makes it easier to put pen to paper with your resume and write a more persuasive, relevant resume for your employment targets. Now, if you have multiple targets, that implies that you might have multiple versions of a resume. And yes, that's true. Same goes for LinkedIn, by the way. If you know who your targets are, you can then write more appropriate and compelling LinkedIn profiles. The third benefit, and then I'll wrap up the benefits, is that As many of you have mentioned, I think we all know that networking is important when we're managing our careers and our job searches. But when we have clear employment targets, then it allows us to be more strategic about how and when and with whom we choose to network. We no longer will just go off to random networking events. And quite frankly, in Tamara's case, she went to 3 Chamber of Commerce events in 3 different cities, which is a good start, but they were very generic networking events with no strategy on who might be there or what industries were represented, that type of thing. So had she been more strategic, she may have decided to go to meetups instead that are industry specific or functional specific.